Alright, so what's up guys? We spent today goose hunting out in southwest Montana and had a tough day. Didn't get any birds. They were flying in the wrong line, but you know, things happen. Good thing my boy John Hoover, owner and founder of Gypsy Fowl, had been hunting all week, so we've got some ducks and some geese that we're gonna cook up tonight. We're gonna make some tacos with them. It's like a street style taco, and I'm gonna make some pickled red onion with serrano peppers as well to go on top with cotija cheese and fresh avocado and blah blah blah. So we're gonna start with making those pickled red onions, and so we're gonna get started with that. Right now we've got some water getting boiling on there, and once that's boiling, we're gonna blanch them real quick, and I'll walk you through the whole process. All right, so we're gonna wash these peppers real quick. Give them a quick chop. Now I want these to be pretty spicy, so I'm gonna leave the seeds in them and the membrane and everything, but the seeds actually don't give it all of the heat. It's that membrane that's the spiciest part of any pepper. So I'm gonna leave all of that in there. If you wanted it to be less spicy or whatever, you could definitely like split them down the middle like that and cut them in half, and then just scrape all that stuff out of the inside if you want it to be less hot. I like my stuff spicy, and if you know me very well, you know I like it that way. So we're gonna leave it that way for now. Inside here, we've got just like a steamer rack colander inside a pot. So put everything in there, and then we'll run all the boiling water over it to do like a quick blanch on all that. So let's do that real quick. So we got purple onion, give that a quick wash. So we're gonna just do this whole onion, so let's give her a chop in half like that. And then I'm gonna go through it one time. This here. Not all the way through it. See how I'm not cutting all the way through it so it stays together. And then we're gonna cut this like really fine. Like that. You want to hold your fingers at an angle like this. You can see how I'm not holding it like that. So you don't want to lose your finger. Come to the top like that. Then we'll just give it one last chop right here. Take it off the end, and then you've got these nice, perfect slices just like that. And that's what you want. So take all that, minus that little bit of skin there, put all that in here. These are really good, they're really easy to make. They keep in your refrigerator forever. You can also like put them in a mason jar like this and actually seal them and can them and keep them forever if you wanted to. They'll keep like on the shelf in the cupboard or pantry or whatever. You want them to be individual pieces when you blanch them, that way they cook more evenly. And you're not wanting to like cook these to mush, you want them to have a little bit of bite and texture once they've been pickled. So that's looking pretty good. Alright, so our water is almost boiling. So what I'm gonna do here is I have this colander in here with the red onions and the jalapeno pepper, or not, excuse me, not jalapenos, the serrano peppers all in there. I had them in this bowl just so I could easily put everything in there. So I've got those set out, and what we're trying to do is we're just trying to blanch these. So we're not trying to like boil them and cook them till they're really soft. We just want to get it, like, take some of that edge off, because that red onion's like really strong. So what we're trying to do is just tone that down a little bit, soften them up a little bit so that they'll be nice and tender, and they'll also take the red wine vinegar. So we're gonna actually pickle it in red wine vinegar, and I like that heat. So you could actually buy red wine vinegar with like jalapeno infusion, which I really like. And then you don't have to add peppers to the pickling, but they didn't have that. So we're just doing it this way, adding the serranos to add a little bit of that heat. So we'll go ahead and blanch. All right, so what you want to do is just like take the hot water and just like slowly pour it on. Try and get it pretty evenly distributed. You'll lose a few onions in the process, but be okay. Like I said, we're not trying to cook these all the way. We're just trying to soften them up a little bit. Blanch them. So it's just a really light blanch. Right. And see, you can already see how they're like softened up, a little bit more translucent. And that's exactly what we're going for. We're not trying to cook them all the way through, just trying to soften them up a little bit. And so since it's still hot and steamy, I'm gonna let that go for just a minute. All right, now that those things have cooled off a little bit, just like, so it's still have a little bit of crunch to them, but a lot of that like really sharp onion flavor is gone. So that's exactly the way we want it. Next thing we're gonna do is we are going to jar it up with the jar and just get some jalapeno or some red wine vinegar on there, and then box it up, put it in the fridge, and let it sit a couple hours until it's dinner time. So we're gonna take some of these onions, put them in there. We want to make sure we get some of those peppers in there as well. Right. Got some more peppers hiding in here. I might have to do multiple jars, but I'm just gonna show you guys one just for ease and convenience. So pack those down in there like that. You can go ahead, you can pack it full. Doesn't really matter that much. How many you put in there. So anyway. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some sea salt. Just put some of that in there like that. That's enough. Like half a teaspoon for a jar that size, probably. Do us just fine. Then we're gonna take our red wine vinegar, just like that, and fill it up to where all of them are covered, just like that. Give this a little stir. Get that salt evenly distributed down through there. It'll work its way down there and dissolve anyway, but I'm just gonna give it a quick stir. All right. Push them all down in there so they're submerged. So I'm gonna just cover that up and put that in the refrigerator to cool down and to get to pickling. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do, now that we've got the pickled onions in the fridge cooling down, we are going to get these beautiful duck breasts ready to go. Paprika. chili powder, red pepper, oregano, sage, salt, and so we're going to start with a liberal amount of salt. Alright, black pepper. Anybody who tells you to buy like seasoning, like taco seasoning, like in a packet or whatever, they're ridiculous, because this is terrible. It's mostly salt and it's just not good. So we're gonna do our own spice blend here, and this is a big piece of meat, so you can be liberal with the seasoning. You're also gonna be cooking it really fast on the grill, so no need to worry about over seasoning it. It can take the flavor, trust me. And you can adjust. This is the red pepper, so this is pretty hot. So you just do as much as you want to based on what your palatability is. And the same thing with the sage. Some people like really don't like the flavor of sage. I happen to love the flavor of sage. And these are Southwest Montana geese, so even though they eat mostly alfalfa and corn and wheat and stuff, I love the sage flavor, so we're gonna do that. And now we're gonna flip them over and do the same thing. And I don't want the paper towel anymore because I want all that seasoning to stick to it, the breasts, and not the paper towel. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these breasts right here, which are all seasoned up, and we are actually gonna put them into the Ziploc bag, and we are going to pound them with a pan and break them down, break apart some of that muscle tissue, because there's not a ton of fat there's zero fat in the actual texture of the meat. As you can see, there's no fat inside it. So we need to break down some of that muscle tissue, especially since we're gonna just sear it on the grill real fast. We need to break that down. So I'm gonna do one at a time in there, pull it out, and then I'm gonna put them back in there and let them marinate in the fridge until we're ready to get. All right, we're gonna take our first breast, put it in the bag, just like that. Just sealing it off, so if anything comes a flying, that it won't get all over the kitchen. We're gonna take our handy dandy heavy duty pot. And this may sound a little violent because it is, and that's just the way it is. So hang on. We want to get the top of the breast there is important. Give it a smack. Right. So bottom of our pot still clean because we use the bag. Pull this puppy out, and you see how it's flattened out a bunch. Spread out, it's a lot softer. It's just going to be a whole lot easier to cook it that way. So one down. One more to go. So, kind of a violent process, but very normal. So we've broken it apart. It's a lot softer now, like I said, and all that seasoning stuck to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put both of these back in the bag, just like this. Okay. I'm gonna take all this seasoning that's on there, and I'm gonna put that in the bag too. There's no need to waste that. It's good flavor. So I'm gonna take just a splash of this vinegar, put that in there just a little bit, give it some liquid. I'm gonna seal this puppy up. We're gonna squeeze all the air out of it. So all the things in there together nice and tight. All right, so then we got 2 goose breasts seasoned up, kind of in a semi-wet marinade where we're gonna put in the fridge.
Riggs doesn't understand why I have to be banging on stuff, interrupting his nap. Sorry, Riggs.
All right, time to put the breasts on. Let's do it. You ready, puppy? Right. Okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera around so you guys can see me. So we got the old grill fired up here, and John has got like a wood chip box, so he's got some hickory chips in here. I'll give it some nice smoky flavor, hopefully. So, all right, let's fire. All right, breast number 1 going on the grill. Oh yeah. Come on, there you go. Breast number 2. Oh yeah, look at that baby sizzle. 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 Boom, let them cook. So here in a few minutes, I'm gonna take some garlic infused olive oil. So it's really easy, just take a squirt bottle or whatever, full of olive oil, and then smash some garlic cloves and put it in there and just let it sit. And then that garlic flavor like penetrates the oil. So what we're gonna do here in a minute is we're gonna come out here and just squirt and brush a little bit of that on there. But we're gonna let them sear. Okay, so here's that garlic oil, or that like olive oil with the garlic infusion. You see all those cloves of garlic in there? So just got that, and we're gonna spray a little bit of that on there just for a little extra fat, because like I said earlier, these goose don't have a lot of fat on them. So we're just gonna drizzle a little bit of that on there. Yeah, just like that. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. And that will cause a little bit of a flame up, but that's okay. It's not gonna hurt the bird at all. Give it a little char, be good. There you go, there's the finished product. Look at that. Perfectly medium rare. Got the whole do-up. Cotija cheese. Mango salsa, creamy southern slaw, red beans and rice. What do you think, puppy? What do you think, Rigger? Sit. Yeah. All right, John. Take a bite. Tell me what you think.
It's bomb. Nothing better.
What do you think, boys? Minnesota boys know how to eat tacos?
Hey, gotta go get some more geese and ducks, man. Right. I wanna go hot.
Oh yeah. All right, there it is, folks, in all its glory. So, we're gonna give her a try. All right.
A lot better, really.
There it is.
Yeah.
We'll give her a try.
It's really good.
You do lose flavor when you cook it too much.
Yeah.
Smoky,
Like a steak, you can't eat it.
spicy,
Well done.
tangy,
Yeah.
Just,
and delicious. All right, y'all try this at home sometime.